I'm here to help you think bigger, work smarter, and become unstoppable. You know why? Because around here, we don't chase mediocrity. We dominate and walk in our divinity. This show is about living your 24K life, mastering your mind, money, body, and soul to live boldly and unapologetically at your highest level. Are you ready? Let's lock in.
Hey, I hope you're ready. This is Sunday, April the 12th, here on the 24K Life Vibe. You know what? We are excited about being on Vibe Radio. You know, we are looking, wanting, and searching to touch so many souls that are interested in elevating their life. That's why we bring the best music 24/7. And inside of that, the Vibe House is the only one bringing you the 24K Life Code, the show that helps you figure out how to manage your money, to manage your resources, to elevate your performance, to live your best life ever.
I'm sure you've heard the news. Financial freedom is within your reach, thanks to Derek Gant. With over 25 years of experience, Derek's 24K life philosophy transforms everyday challenges into stepping stones for success. Imagine mastering your finances, setting and crushing your goals, and shifting your mindset to elite levels. Derek empowers you with tools for financial freedom and measurable results. His strategies are crafted to ensure you live the life you've always dreamed of. From his book to engaging workshops and online content, Derek's insights are designed just for you. Start your journey today and turn your aspirations into achievements. Visit derekgant.com. It's time to live your 24K life. Are you ready?
Hey, come on now. You got to be ready. Are you ready for that 24K life? This is not my 24, it's your 24. What does your golden life look like? That's what we're here to help you figure out. Now, I believe that most of it starts with your finances, right? When you have the money to go get those organic foods, when you have the money to hire the trainer, when you have the money to take a travel break from your crazy boss, you know, you feel better about having resources. I saw a study the other day that said that the number one concern for people over 45 is financial security, and the second one was your physical health. You know what? We touch on getting your financial security straight so that you can touch on your physical health. What? Happy Sunday, Coach Don. Appreciate you being here. So check this out. Someone woke up this morning and said, oh my goodness, only 3 weeks out before I have my first college graduate. And it's like, wow, you know, you blink your eye and they were just getting dropped off their freshman year, and now they're graduating. So I decided to change the show last minute because you know what? She's not the only one with a graduate. There are thousands, if not millions, of high school graduates coming out, of college graduates getting ready to pop off. And you know what? Who better than to help you equip them with the knowledge that they need to start this game the right way. So we're going to talk about being a golden graduate and how to position your graduates so that they come into this world better equipped. I know that for a very long time, specifically when my son was going to college, I had a lot of parents asking me to speak with their high school graduates to help them figure out how to handle those graduate gifts as they went into college, and to help them create a schedule for college. And then subsequently, we also wanted to do the same thing for our college graduates, right? They're going into the world. They have no idea what's really popping off on their first real job. And I know, and you know, that they need some help, right? I mean, who doesn't need help? But our college graduates need some help. And so for those graduates that are going to be walking or stepping into their first big girl job, their first big boy job, I'm going to give them, and I'm going to give it to you because I know they're not watching their kids. They're watching something else. Hey, who else do we have on? I see we have 5 or 6 people popped on to the YouTube. Say hello. And this show is going to be about college graduation, and not the fact of graduating, but how do they handle their money moving into graduation? How can we make life simpler for them What should you be sharing with them? What should you be recommending to your family and friends to give gifts? What gifts should you be recommending they give? Because see, what people tend to do is they tend to go do stuff that they would do for themselves, not what's necessarily best in the interest of the graduate. I'll give you an idea. I had a client that asked me, they said, hey, what do you think the best thing that we could do for our graduating kid to make an impact in their life? And I said, you can give them a gift certificate. And they said, oh, so go to the Walmart or to the Target or to wherever and get a gift certificate. I was like, no. A stock certificate, right? Buy them shares of Apple or buy them shares of UPS or Amazon or whatever, because that is going to be worth what you put into it, number one. And number two, if you pick the right company that's got some really longevity, it's going to accumulate and appreciate. I'm always talking about assets, liabilities, and expenses. Give them an asset that will appreciate so that they can have something along the way. Now, I know a lot of parents will buy savings bonds. I mean, people are still talking about buying savings bonds, which is I'm just gonna flat out say no, just a hard no. And people love obviously giving cash. Kids love getting cash. But think about it this way: when you give a young person, a recent graduate, I don't care if it's high school or college, you give them a stock certificate showing they own 10 shares of this particular company, because if you buy a big company, it's not going to be a lot of shares. If you work for a company and the stock price is cool, you might want to buy your company and say, hey, this is the company that feeds us. It's also going to feed your future. And you don't just give them the certificate and say, congratulations. You put that stuff in a frame and you make it so they can hang it up. Kind of like, entrepreneurs do when we earn our first dollar. You get a little picture frame right here on the wall in a little frame with our first dollar. It's supposed to be cool. However, that dollar is a reminder, that certificate is a reminder that there's more to me spending my money than getting cash and figuring out what I want to buy. This particular young man that I'm talking about, that, his mom woke up and said, he's 3 weeks, I got my first college graduate. This cat, I remember when he graduated from high school, and, I had laid out a plan for his older brother, and I laid out a generic plan for him, but he didn't need a whole lot. This cat, I would guess that this dude still has some of that high school graduate money, because he was very judicious in where he spent, how he spent, and what he spent it on. And you know what? Luke Johnson's going to be a proud NCAT graduate from the engineering department in about 3 weeks. And, I'm most proud that the dude took courses and he didn't sail through, he worked hard, but he got through with some courses. I thought calculus was hard until I started listening to some of the stuff he was taking. And he wasn't just taking one of them, he was taking 2 or 3 at a time for 4 years. And he's been able to overcome and have some internships at Apple and at Georgia Tech. And he has experienced the world like most black young men will never experience the world and don't experience the world. So he's got a great leg up, and I can't wait to sit with him and once he figures out what's next for him and set up his first deal. I'll tell you that last year alone, last year meaning this past 12 months, I've set up a minimum 6 of my friends' kids who either graduated college or got their first big person job, and the parent was tired of funding them, so they wanted somebody to help the kids structure their finances. And I'll tell you, one of the young people that I helped, I started helping her, and she really wasn't into it, and I wasn't into it because I was not charging premium dollars. I was charging Derek friend dollars. And also, I wasn't going to chase some kid that doesn't want to pay attention to what's going on, and they don't want to win the money game. So what I did was I backed off, told the parent, I did the best I could. I'm good. So the young lady, after getting herself into some financial dismay through some credit card loans and some other bull crap that she did, finally decided to reach out. And she reached out again the second time, and she said, she was serious, and I took her through the rigmarole, and I told her, playing with my times, playing with my money, playing with my emotions. You know Pinky, right? You know Pinky from Friday. Don't play with my emotions. And so I'm going to tell you this. This young lady came in, I swear to you, she came in with, she had $5,000 that she owed her stepdad. She had $2,000 on a Chase card and another $1,800 on another card. Now, that may not sound like a lot when you're old and 40, but when you're 24 and you've accumulated this debt and you've accumulated so much debt that your stepdad had to bail you out, and then you had to pay him, and you don't want to hear his mouth asking you about why you showing up with a new bag or new gear, you know. So she did step in, and we met twice a month for 3 or 4 months. And then we meet once a month. And I'm telling you, she is down to $3,000 of debt, and she has over $5,000 in her emergency fund. Now, we also set up a travel fund for her because she's gonna still do what she do. But the point is that, you know, she followed the instructions. She decided she was committed. She didn't want to owe. The truth is, she didn't want to owe her stepdad, so we paid him first. And now she's feeling this immense sense of independence, right? She's feeling this immense sense of independence because she can handle her own business. She didn't have to call her mom and ask for $30 because she's short, because she wasted the money somewhere else. So we're going to take this show, and we are going to show you what you should be sharing. And most importantly, you should be sharing this video. And if you're on the radio, you should go to Derek Gant. Go to YouTube, Derek Gant 24K, and you can get a copy of this video, because we're on the radio, but we're also recording this so that you can reach back to it and forward it to your young people so that they can start the game. Don't you want your kids to start the game at a gross advantage over what you started the game, what most people start the game? Man, you know, this woman, I was in the store the other day, and this woman, I mean, I don't know how old she was, but she looked like she was 88. And she was the cashier, and I asked her how her day was, and she was like, "Hey, I'm here, got to pay these bills." And I don't know what I said. I said something Derek Gant-like to her. And she goes, "Well, if I could only go back knowing what I know." And I'm like, hey, I hear you. I think about that myself. And I do go back. And doing this radio show, doing the 24K Life Coach show is my way of going back and sharing with the me, and I have a son that's 29, gonna be 30 this year, sharing with the me of then the tools and the tricks to elevate your financial game. You need to have this game tight. I'm gonna tell you what, when I was young, I don't think I was even married. And I got married young. I mean, young, like 23. I think when I was like 22, at my first gig, this woman that was my age, she was a peer. She was working for this insurance company, and somehow she talked me into signing up for this IRA. And she told me all the benefits, yada, yada, yada. And you're 22, you're 21, 22, you're not thinking about no retirement IRA, but I put $25 a month in there. All I can say, yada, 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 is that I wish that I had kept putting that $25 in that account, because she was 1,000% right. Putting that IRA money, that $25 in that IRA money over the last, almost 40 years. I'm gonna be 60 this year, almost 40 years. That's $300 a month times 40 years times interest income times capital gains. Oh my goodness. Right? But I don't know, when I got married, I needed to buy a ring, so I obliterated that account and I stopped putting the money in. And then lo and behold, your boy becomes a financial advisor later. And now I know I wish I had done that then and kept it going. But man, you know, you get married, you have kids, you don't expect to have kids that early. Hey, there's video of me, fam. There's video of me before I got married saying, no, 5 years. You know, my boys at my bachelor party were like, "Oh, you're going to have kids right away." I'm like, nope, 5 years. I'm going to wait 5 years, because I was a financial planner when I got married, right? I had already switched my career. I was a financial planner, had already planned all this stuff out. I didn't know life would just slap you like that, right? I didn't know. They didn't tell me. I didn't have a big brother, right? I didn't know life was just going to smack the living bejesus out of me. And so I didn't know, but now I know. Now I know, now I'm sharing. And I'm going to tell you, the proof is in the pudding. Hey, if you're joining the show, you can hit us up at 419-972-1922. 419-972-1922 if you want to comment on the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, I got a little poll for you. I got a poll for all of you. But I want to ask you something. You know, when you think about your financial life, are you in a position that you thought you would be in 20 years later? I want you to send me a yes or a no. Just text me a yes or a no. 419-972-1922, right? I'm going to suggest that most of us is no. I don't even have as much as I want, right? Most people don't. Even the people that are stacking cash on top of cash don't have enough to feel completely secure. And I'm talking, I got clients with millions, still don't feel completely secure. That's why I helped my younger self, called my son, and my sons position themselves. My son's got 6 figures saved. He's going to be 30 this year. And I promise you, I told him 2 things all of his life. Don't get married before you're 30, and you have $100,000 in cash by the time you're 30. Those are the 2 things I pounded in his head. And we hopped on a call the other day, and we were reminiscing about all the times that I said that, and the fact that when you brainwash somebody, they actually will get where you want them to go. And he actually got there. Super cool, super proud of him. He is not going to have any financial issues if he continues to implement the things that I taught him along the way. And one of the things that I taught him is that money ain't a thing. It's not. Money's not the thing. Money's a resource. Money's a tool. Money is a scorekeeper. The thing is your mindset. So you got to know that you always got to be in control.
Top down, screaming out, money ain't a thing. Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the rings with the window crack. Holla back, money ain't a thing. Jigga, I don't like it if it don't gleam. In the hell with the price, but the money ain't a thing. Put it down hard for my dogs that's locked in the bang. When you hit the bricks, new whips, money ain't a thing. Come on. Y'all want to floss with us? All across the board, we burn it up. Drop a little pickle, baby, toss it up. Slacking on your pimpin', turn it up. See the money ain't a thing. Flex the road, sign a check for ya. Jigga style is love. X and O, save all your accolades, just the dough. My game is wide, all names aside, trying to stay alive. 100,000 for the bracelet, foolish ain't out, a chain to strain your eye. Twin platinum gun, son, aim for the sky. Ice on my bullet, you die soon as I pull it. Willies wanna rub shoulders, your money too young. See me when it gets older, your bank account grow up. Mine says 1000 old up. Damn near out the rear trunk when I roll up. Moti till I close up, it's all basic. I've been spending hundreds since they had small faces. Rob your stash out, doubled out down in Vegas. Me and JD got it locked crazy. Where you at, haters? Jaguar switching 4 lanes with the top down, screaming out, money ain't a thing. Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the rings with the window crack. Holla back, money ain't a thing. Jigga, I don't like it if it don't gleam. In the hell with the price, but the money ain't a thing. Put it down hard for my dogs that's locked in the bing. When you hit the bricks, new whip, money ain't a thing. Y'all wanna floss with us? Cause all across the board we burning up. Drop a little paper, baby, toss it up. You slacking on your pimpin', turn it up. See the money ain't a thing. Cake thick, I live the life. Eating crab, watching chicken shake this shit all night. I make the big moves, do the big thing. Take small groups, turn them into big names. The big dog with the big change. Frostbit bracelet, the match. Can't say I'm rich, man. Type of end that you need, crew. Type of dude that'll do your shit you won't do. Can't do, get more burned than a candle. Too hot to hold, too much to handle. In the black sea low, he know if she look, she go. Bye-bye with Dada, and I ain't gotta say no more. I'm the truth like AI. Got the proof and stay fly. In the safe, this you could never buy. Know why? Cause I write the songs that the whole world sing. I don't know about y'all, but every night I swing. The Ferrari, a Jaguar, switching 4 lanes with the top down, screaming out, money ain't a thing. Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the rings with the window crack. Holla back, money ain't a thing. Jigga, I don't like it if it don't gleam. In the hell with the price, but the money ain't a thing. Put it down hard for my dogs that's locked in the bang. When you hit the bricks, new whips, money ain't a thing. Y'all wanna floss with us? All across the board, we burn burn it up. Drop a little paper, baby, toss it up. Slacking on your pimpin', turn it up. See the money in the thing.
Yeah, this for real till y'all ship a meal. And y'all hit a R&B chick and she fit the bill. Said she loved my necklace, started relaxing. Now that's what I call a chain reaction. Went from wholesome to jigger, you awesome. Baby, I don't play, all my jewelry is like gray. Platinum, spend your whole life in a day. What's down is a bet, roll the dice.
Let's play. So what you ain't gold and rock a rollie with the ice bezel. It's gonna take a lot more to see my level. Where I'm at, your check, you better double that. And personally, your raps is where the trouble at. I'm a Benz buckle cat leather with the wood grain and the platinum frame. Screaming, it's not a game. Gleaming from ear to ear, wrist to wrist, ringing chain. Even me and Jay-Z got it locked crazy. A Ferrari, a Jaguar, switching 4 lanes with the top down, screaming out money ain't a thing.
Bubble hard in the double law, flashing the rings with the window crack. Holla back, money ain't a thing.
Jigga, I don't like it if it don't gleam. In the hell with the price, cause the money ain't a thing.
Put it down hard for my dogs that's locked in the bang. When you hit the bricks, new whips, money ain't a thing.
Y'all want to floss with us? All across the board, we burn it up. Drop a little paper, baby, toss it up. Slacking on your pimpin', turn it up. See the money ain't a thing.
You got to know what the money game is all about, and it's not about the money. It's about the mindset. It's about how you accumulate. It's about giving your dollars a duty. It's about how you can elevate your financial life, maintain control, and live life according to your own code.
78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Even high earners, over 60%, have under $1,000 saved. But a new money move is making way. Welcome to the 24K Life, created by financial performance coach Derek Gant. The 24K Life is where high achievers master their money, sharpen their mindset, building unshakable confidence and wealth. If you're done with the survival mind and are ready to thrive, visit 24klife.org. The 24K Life. Be your best. Get the best. Leave nothing to chance.
Hey, we are not leaving anything to chance, and that's why we're here. We want our graduates to graduate, obviously, and they're going to do that. They put in the work. But we want them to enter this game knowing that their money is tight, their money's right, and that it's going in the right direction. So we're going to spend some time on the show going over like what you should be sharing with them. And of course, the easiest thing to do is to share with them this video, to share with them some resources that will help them set themselves up. What you want to do is understand that when you're talking, if you're going to talk to them and you've not been able to display in your household proper financial moves, meaning that you've been talking about you broke, your lights are on and off because of non-payment, because if you're struggling, the car notes, if your family is seeing struggle or lack, it's very difficult for any of us to take advice from someone who's not doing the things that they're purporting for us to do. And so luckily for my kids, not only did they see me do it and they saw the results through, the way we lived our lifestyle, actually in some instances too high of a lifestyle, so I went too far even for myself. But listen, hey, I was a bad patient, and I'm reticently here to admit that. I bought stuff that didn't need. I don't think it was doing the Jones thing, but it was doing the Jones thing, and the truth is undeniable, right? I don't care what you call it. What do they call that? Fake facts or whatever he calls them. Alternative facts. There ain't no such thing. Truth is the truth. So I'm here to share with you some of the things that I did right, some of the things that I did wrong. But one of the things that I did right was I set, from a consumer's perspective, I have every one of my clients, before graduation season even kicks off, I have them set the gift amount. So you have close family gift amount, you have extended family gift amount, you have friends gift amount, extended friends gift amount, because what happens, of course, when your kid graduates, so does all of his friends, and they're all inviting you to all these parties, and you might go broke during a couple months trying to go to 10 different graduations and spend thousands of dollars on cards and gift monies and all those type of things. So my strategy is, before you even go, have a look at your budget, know where your numbers are, right? Part of the money game is understanding where you are. Everybody that's in my life knows one thing about me. I need to know where I stand. And if I don't think I'm standing in the right spot, is not going to be comfortable for many, right? It's just not. I need to know where I stand. And that is the proper way to be when it comes to strategic planning. If you're going to plan something, you got to know where you are in order to know where you're going. So understanding, you're looking at your budget and you're saying, okay, well, what do we have available this early April for all the graduations that are going to pop off in May and June and maybe even July? How many parties are we going to go to? How many kids are we going to potentially have to show up for or give a gift for? And I value my time more than I value my money, because my time is money. And the older you get, the more you'll understand that adage. But time is money, and the less time you have, the more unwilling you are to waste it. So start with a summary. And I do this for birthdays too. My clients, we know how much are you going to spend on graduation for family, and then how much are you going to spend on extended family, friends, extended friends, and you just create the number. Hey, extended gets $25, or they get whatever. So you set the rate, but look at your budget, see what you can afford, and then that way you're not shocked, you're not surprised. Hey, I might have to turn down some of those invites from friends of friends of friends. I haven't seen the kids since they were 3, but they're graduating. Their parents thought of me and they wanted me to come. Let's be honest, man. This graduation is a money grab. It's a money grab. When my parents told me they wanted me to have a graduation party, I was like, I'm good. I don't need a graduation party. And then I saw what my cousin got at their graduation party, and I was like, yeah, Mom, I'll have one of those parties too. It was a money grab. And that was 40 years ago. So it's supposed to be a money grab. It's supposed to be an opportunity for these kids to accumulate some extra dollars that can cushion their transition into true adulthood. And if they're graduating from high school, and that's the other precedent, you need to set a number for high school and a number for college, because those are two different numbers. Like I have a number for a first wedding and a number for a second wedding. And the gift giving dollar value tremendously dips on that second one, if I even go. I'm not saying I don't love them, don't like them, don't want them to be happy, but been there, done that. How many times are you going to do that? So I'm just sharing these insight tips with you because it's going to make your life simpler. And if you do that, it won't cause any financial disruption in what you're doing. You don't want to look up and all of a sudden you have 10 graduations to go to and you're going to give $200 to each one of them. I mean, that can be really disruptive. That's $2,000 that you might not have budgeted for, that you're going to spend during this graduation season. So what should the kids be doing? First of all, pray to Almighty God, Allah, or whoever you pray to, that they haven't gotten into any credit card debt, right? Because they've made it a little more difficult for kids to secure credit cards in college, but they still find ways. I mean, I'm talking about the credit card people. I don't want the kids. The credit card people still find ways. So the first thing is to pray they don't have a bunch of credit card debt. The second thing is to understand that they can't ignore potential student loans that are going to be on and coming due. So it's not that you want to start this conversation out the day they graduate, but it is something that you want to have with them before they graduate, or at some point after, before they get too tied up and too caught up in real life. And I'm going to talk about college kids and I'm going to talk about high school kids, because there's two different strategies, right? Assuming that your high school kids are going to go to college, there's two different strategies. They're going into the real world, same strategy as the college graduate. So the first thing that you want to do, and make sure you do this for your younger kids. Number one, they need to have accounts. They need to have accounts. They need to have checking accounts, savings accounts. And I know that may sound super basic, but it's super true. Some of these kids don't know anything about banks. So you need to take them to the bank and set up a couple of accounts. Go to the bank, set up a checking account, set up a savings account, and set up a second savings account. So they should have one checking account and two savings accounts. And what you're going to do is you're going to have an account and you're going to tell them to name one of those savings accounts, never touch. Don't touch, break in case of emergency, emergency funds, whatever you want to call it, but they're not, any money that goes in that account, they're not going to touch. And they need to come to you, even though it's their money, their account, they need to come to you for a team meeting in order to take money out of that account. So they need to talk to someone with some experience, some exposure, some understanding. and help them figure through if whatever they're getting ready to do, is it truly an emergency or is it something they want to do? Because, we can think of a lot of emergencies that's just something we want to do. Be aware of that. It's not unusual, but we want these young people to get set up properly. So set up those 3 accounts. And then you want to tell them, because they're going to be shocked if they've never really worked before, they're going to be shocked at how much Uncle Sam takes out of their check. So at least let them know who Uncle FICO is, all right? Or not FICO, that's your credit score. Who the federal tax person is on your check. It's going to say, federal something, federal taxes. Let them know that it's going to be a number that they're not going to like, and that they're going to have to give, almost a week's worth of effort away to taxation. They need to know that, number one. Number two, they need to understand that whatever they're going to do, they need a plan, right? They need a plan. If you're going to go get a new job in New Orleans, start looking at apartment prices there, start looking at, cost of living and parking and all the things. They need to understand this, so you need to help them figure out the steps. Now, what I will tell you is that if you want a shortcut to what steps, just hit the show up, 419-972-1922. And I will send you, myself or somebody on my team, will send you the quick hit list of questions you need to ask your kid or have your youngster, your young adult prepare for after they graduate with college. Now, I would have never said this, and I heard that Uncle Shannon Sharpe said that at 18, all the kids got to get out of the house. But, Uncle Shannon Sharpe is the same dude who did what he did, okay? Are you going to take advice from that dude? No, he's also very rich. I don't know how rich. I don't care how rich, but he's got enough that he can trick off whatever he tricked off to that person that did what he did. And it was a lot of money. So, what am I saying? Listen to people who know what the hell they're talking about. That's what I'm saying. So, he's saying, kick your kids out at 18. I don't care. At 18, they got to go. Go to college, go somewhere, but they got to go. And I'm saying to you, if you look at today's world, if you look at today's economy, I let my son stay at my house as long as he was working. If he was in the basement playing video games or locked in his room playing video games or smoking weed or just chilling, he couldn't have stayed with me. I agree with that. You can't stay with me and just live off of me. But if you have a strategy, if you have a plan, if you got something going on, how do you think I said in the beginning of the show that my son's got 6 figures and he's 30? The 2 things I told him: don't get married before you're 30 because you don't know who you really, really are. The person you're marrying don't know who they really, really are. And get 6 figures in cash. Most people are so concerned, I need to get interest on this $1,000. Where can I invest? You can't imagine how many calls I get with people telling me they want to invest. And I say, okay, well, what do you want to start with? And they say $1,000 or $500. Come on, man. No disrespect, but you don't know anything about the money game. Like nothing about the money game. So don't worry about interest rates. Worry about accumulating assets. If you're going to spend money, is whatever you're spending it on, is it necessary? If it's not necessary and you're still going to spend the money, make sure it's something that appreciates. I don't know if you're beyond your Langa Baga bags or whatever y'all be buying, your Burka bags. I don't know if they appreciate or not, but if they don't, and your bag costs more than the money in the bag, I know I'm getting off track. We're talking about college graduates. Don't buy it. I'm gonna finish up with that. But that's what we're teaching our kids. And you shouldn't be teaching them that. It doesn't matter what you look like. It matters what you do, what the results are that you're creating, the value that you're creating, so that you can then charge more for what it is that you do. So we want each youngster to have 3 accounts. We want them to have a checking account to transact their business for their bills. We want them to have a savings account that they never, ever touch. And then we want them to have a short-term savings account. It's really not even savings. It's a short-term account. And they're going to put money in there that they're going to spend. They're going to spend to go travel. They're going to spend because they want to buy something in the future. Like with my son, I had him separate his 6-figure money when he was on the way to 6 figures. I had him separate that money from money he's going to need to set up his apartment, the money he needs to, go on vacation or go hang out with friends in California, whatever it is that he wanted to do. So we had separate accounts that denoted separate intentions, because if you want anything to work, you got to be incredibly intentional. And there's certain things that you just can't have a game time decision about. You got to have a plan, a strategy, and you got to implement it by any means necessary. Now, I know that some people are game time decisions and some people are narcissistic about their strategies. I've learned to try to come in the middle, to be flexible, because there's no winning on either extreme. You want to have some balance. And part of that balance is having an account that never gets touched, an account that you're planning to touch, but you have that account that you never plan to touch. And so you want to warn them about their paycheck. You want to warn them about understanding what their spending is going to be. And when you look at spending, you want them to understand that we have needs and we have wants. Let's not stack our wants on top of our needs. Let's take care of our needs first. Let's get to a certain level on our emergency fund. And when we're talking about our high school kids, what I tell them explicitly is, let's understand what the costs are to be in college. So do you have to pay for your own food? Do you have to pay for your own shelter? Do you have to pay for your own haircuts? Do you have to pay for your own nail treatments? Do you have to pay for your own personal care supplies? And how often do you need to replace those supplies? They won't know the answer to any of those questions, but your job is to ask them to provoke a thought process. So between now and the day that they leave to go to college, it's still going to be 2 or 3 months. And they can say, oh, okay, I've been paying attention. I need to replenish my body wash once a month or once every 2 months or whatever it happens to be. And then we can create a budget from what their needs are and what their expected needs are. Do they have a car? Do they need gasoline? Do they need parking? So we project all of these things out, even though if we're only talking, we're not talking a lot of money for these high school kids going to college. We might be talking $300-400 because they usually have a meal plan that's part of the package. So we don't have to worry about food. Most new college students don't live off campus right away, so they don't have to worry about rent and those type of things. So, but you do want to stack up what their needs are, even if you are the one helping supplement those needs, because here's what's going to happen. Those youngsters are used to being in your house. And when the juice runs out, they're used to you going to get more juice. Mom, juice is out. You go get more. Mom, bread's out. You go get more. But when they're on their own, there's a maturation process you want them to go through. And if you don't let them suffer through it, they won't ever learn it. Now, trust and believe. You learned it. I learned it. My parents didn't give me no money. I was on a full scholarship and there was no NIL. So I didn't have any extra money. And in college, back in those days, you had to learn how to make sure you didn't run out of food, even though it was part of the scholarship. You had to make sure you knew how to get gas for your car if you were driving a car, which I did. And so I learned this by the school of hard knocks. And for whatever reason, I don't know, we don't seem to want our kids to go through any hard knocks. But hard knocks are what got you to be the leader and the winner and the super parent that you are. You learned how to be a super parent through the school of hard knocks, but yet we don't want our kids to go through any hard knocks. Now listen, I'm not throwing no stones. My kids, I know some of you are listening going, bro, we know your family. We know your kids lived a lap of luxury. And I told you I made some mistakes. I got one kid that listens and one, they're not kids, they're grown ass men. I got one that listens and one that listens and does it. Okay, so I got one, both listen, but one of them actually implements, and that's the one with 6 figures. Okay, so my point is that yes, they lived in a lap of luxury, but while they were, I was yapping in their ear about what they should be doing, what dad was doing, what the family was doing, and how we were doing it to live this life. And of course, they thought it was going to naturally flow over to them and their life was going to be easy. And no, I didn't properly ingrain in them how hard it was going to be by having somebody cut the grass, by paying somebody to cut the grass and paying somebody to shovel snow and paying somebody to do the lawn maintenance and all the other things. Should have been them. I know it should have been them. Wanting the kitchen clean, instead of waiting for them to clean it or forcing them to clean it, I'd get sick of it and just clean it. So I know I messed up, but you don't have to mess up. You have a situation, you have an opportunity to teach them proper tools, even if you're not doing it. And all you need to do is just keep talking to them. Because I explained to you last week the system of belief. And the system of belief starts with a thought. It goes to a word goes to an action, and then the action reinforces the original belief. And so even if they don't see it in your life, if you start talking to them, hey, I'm taking you to the bank to get these 3 accounts. And that doesn't matter if it's high school or college. I'm taking you to the bank to get these 3 accounts. Hey, if you want to participate on the show, hit us up 419-972-1922. This show is brought to you by I want my kid to graduate bad, and I want him to have some cheddar when he gets to be my age. That's who's sponsoring this show. Also sponsoring the show is Amin Poet Production Company. Amin Poet, when sound is all you need, hit up Amin Poet, AMINPOET.com. This is your boy, Derek Gant. Listen, I need you to pay attention to me. If you don't have your money tight and you want your life right, you need to transfer this information at least to your children. You know what? Everybody's talking about legacy. Man, the legacy is us passing this BS on to our kids. Let's stop the madness. Let's start passing on some right tools, some tools that will translate into resources in every aspect of life, including financially. It'll translate into a good life of health. You know, I talked to my youngest son, the one that listens to me, because my other son, man, dude is ripped. He's just ripped. Matter of fact, he's got a 30-day reset program. If you want to know about it, hit the show up, 419-972-1922. He's helping people get their summer body better, right? You want to get that summer body back? Hit him up. He's the dude. Hit me up. I'll make sure that he gets the information, 419-972-1922. But we are also doing a reset. We're doing a kingdom reset, 24K kingdom reset. We're going to show you the setup of what we do to help you get your money right, because you got to be structured right. Remember I told you, you got to know where you stand. That's the first step. Where do I stand? We're going to give you 7 steps to structure your financial life. It's biblically based, but what people don't know is that the entire global financial system is biblically based. Bankruptcy is in the Bible. You know, reaping and sowing, right? Saving and then sowing is in the Bible. Investing, get some money, right? That's the harvest. Sow it into an investment and reap the harvest. That's all in the Bible. I'm telling you, what you don't know is just messing you up. But I'm here to break the curse. I'm here to help you. You know, I was saying these people are talking about legacy. They're talking about personal banks. But everyone talking about that trash is already there. They're just trying to figure out how to keep it. I'm here to show you how to get it. Don't you want to get it? I know. I hope you do, because if you don't, I don't know why you're listening to our show. I know, and you know, that all of this is in God's hands. And if you don't know it's in God's hands, you need to understand the financial system is a biblical principle. It started with Joseph, who said the brothers saved all of Egypt through this financial system of reaping, sowing, and storing. This is not anything new. What we need to do is make it practical. Last week, I broke down some practical things that you can do to resurrect your life. Not just financially, but your life. If you didn't see that show, I'm telling you, it was a banger. I was looking fire too. I had on my white fit with my blue glasses. You ought to check that out. But what I'm trying to tell you, all this is in God's hands. And if you don't know, now you know.
He did. Matter of fact, Nate, what was that one joint you was playing earlier? It went something like...
Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good just to be? Don't it feel good just to be in God's hands? Don't it feel good? In God's hands. Knowing that you're standing in God's hands. Oh. I'm living in these moments that I pray for. Standing in the purpose I was made for. I'm just walking in the hands of the Lord. Give me more, give me more, give me more. You went undercover with your grace. Detective, how you found me in my shame. But you didn't give me over to my chain. You arrested me with love, then you sentenced me to change. Mugshot looking different, I'm amazed. You pulled me out the grave that you found me in. If you had to run it back, you do it all again. Yeah, and I ain't stepping out. No, I'm locked in and I ain't stressing out. Count it in his hands when they count me out. Don't it feel good? Don't don't it feel good just to be? Don't it feel good just to be, just to be, just to be in God's hands? Don't it feel good in God's hands? Knowing that you're standing in God's hands. I just might scream. God's got his hands on me. Ain't no stains on me. Knowing that I'm covered by the blood, still so clean like dough. My child, my provider. He's my Abba, my father. I know that you're for me, yeah. I can go the distance when it's the both of us. So just to know this kind of love is the way that you found me in the dark. When I was lost, you brought me home. Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good just to be? Don't it feel good just to be, just to be, just to be in God's hands? Don't it feel good in God's hands? Knowing that you're standing in God's hands.
Hey, run on, look, yeah. Don't it feel good? Living in his favor from the country to the hood. I don't want the paper when I got the holy book. Who'd have thought that a crook like me would get courtside seats? Take a look, firm foundation, standing 10 toes. I can never be complacent. Skyline views when you coming from the basement. Got me like, ooh, going with the praise.
Don't it feel good? Don't it feel good just to be? Don't it feel good just to be, just to be, just to be in God's hands? Don't it feel good in God's hands? Knowing that you're standing in God's hands.
So check this out. What I'm telling you about the kids are the same things you should be doing for yourself. This is at least a bare minimum. Knowing where your money is, knowing what money you can spend and which money you should probably leave alone. So I want you to know, as we close out the show, that at 8 o'clock, you're going to get DJ Mr. J. He's playing the fire music. Check him out. You don't want to miss it. But listen to me carefully. You know, I had a conversation with my boys. I said, listen, Dad made a lot of financial decisions in his life, made a lot of money in his life, spent a lot of money in his life. You know, your mama wanted a big house. I spent a lot of money. So I don't have as much money. Got divorced, had to get rid of most of my money. So, but what I told my boys is, listen to me. What I know and what I can impart in your life financially, mentally, as a man, as a provider, I already showed you how to work hard, right? I already showed you how to stay fit. You know, as your friends can't figure out why your dad looked like one of your boys, not like your dad who's 60. But what I can leave you versus, and I'm still grinding to leave them some serious ends. But until that matter of fact happens, what I can do is impart in them the way that they should go and pray that they do not depart from it in the future. So I have been instilling in them, and this is my message to you. Don't worry about imposter syndrome. Don't worry that you haven't done what you should have done and they haven't been able to see it. You can't worry about that. Don't you want to worry about their life more than your image? And you want to talk to them. Like, don't talk to them like a parent. Talk to them like you wish somebody would have talked to you. Like, yo, listen, I know that you may look around and things aren't as rosy or as luxurious as they should be, but let me tell you what you should be doing so your life looks 10 times better than this when you get to my stage in life, right? Just be honest with them. Tell them. Say, listen, I wish somebody would have sat me down, twisted my arm, and told me that I should spend 50% of what I bring in the house on what I need. 50% on what I need. 10% should be going what I want. And the last 30% should be spent on accumulating wealth. That money should be going into my 401k program. It should be going into stock programs. It should be going into an emergency fund so that when I have an emergency, I don't have to borrow my way out of trouble. The Bible says the borrower will always be a servant to the lender. Therefore, ye should own. Be the lender, not the borrower. That's biblical. I told you, this entire financial system is based on biblical principles. You just didn't slow down long enough to hear it, to see it, to understand it, and most importantly, to live it. Because starts with a thought, goes to a word, goes into your actions, goes into the results, which reinforces the original thought. And we should be thinking so much bigger. Listen, if you need to reset, it's not too late. It's not too late. I promise you, it's never too late. Just understand that more millionaires were created after the age of 60 than before the age of 60. It's not too late for you to tap in, to understand that you can begin. Just think about this. If you spent the next 24 months doing the right things right, taking your supplements, taking your meds, hitting the gym, walking versus sitting, stop eating those chips, putting money in an emergency fund. If you started to do the right things right, if you stop shopping at Amazon, if you stop buying luxury things that cost more than what you have saved, then you're going to, in 24 months, you are a new person. If you listened to my message last week, you are in new wineskin. And I say message like I'm a minister, because I'm not. But I am a marketplace minister. I'm the minister of finance in your family. I am the CFO of your financial family. And what I'm doing here is saying, listen, let's break the curse. Let's make sure these kids this year, these graduates, don't care if they're high school or college, make sure these kids are structured properly. Make sure that you've positioned them. Make sure that you've been honest with them. Because here's the point. Finance isn't taught in the home. Finance isn't taught in school. They teach economics. They teach financial economics. They teach home economics, but that is not personal finance. There are colleges just now, when I say just now, in the last 3 years, that are teaching personal finance. But the vast majority of individuals have never been taught. And that's why you shouldn't be embarrassed. That's why you shouldn't be reluctant. That's why you shouldn't fall into the trap that the system has about, oh, you can't tell nobody you're not doing well. Yeah, you shouldn't tell just anybody. You should go tell a financial consultant, I ain't doing well and I need to know something and I'm willing to invest. I'm willing to give up this bull that I'm investing on, maybe like the lottery or your beer habit or whatever it is. I'm willing to take that money and invest it for a better, brighter future. Be willing to do that. And until you are, nothing's going to change, right? And so don't be worried about the past. Worry about the present. Be concerned about how you're aligning your mouth, your mission, and your money so that your kids can say, wow, something's different about dad. Something's different about the way mom is moving. She's not so willy-nilly giving me the whims of my heart. Okay? And I know it's hard. I say this over and over. I know it's hard for ladies that are nurturing, that are mama bears, that are tiger moms or helicopter moms or whatever you want to call it, that want your kids to be good. You know, I know there's not very many men in their lives to show them what good looks like. But what I do know is that whatever you're not sharing about the struggles that you're having financially with your soon-to-be adult children is going to bleed over into them struggling and then going, oh, I didn't realize you had to work this hard to provide for me, to provide for us, to take care of yourself and us. And it's a disservice. And we think that we're sheltering them from what I'm guilty of. I don't know. I should have done more hard knocks. I know I should have. But man, at 60 and being a financial expert, I'm here to tell you I made a mistake. I'm here to tell you you can stop making a mistake. My kids are older and I'm still in their ear. And they're still asking me financial questions because they know that I know. They see the clients that I help. They see the results of the clients that I help. And they see the houses being purchased and bought. And they see the debts being burned. And they see the smiles replacing tears. And you need to be able to foresee those same things. And it is possible. You are possible. Impossible says, I'm possible, baby. What? It says I'm possible. That's what impossible says. It's just a matter of how you're reading them. We got somebody calling the show. Let's see. What? You're calling the show, and we want to know, oh, it's the show calling the show. But we're gonna have to call you back, show. You call to give us some investment tips for the radio audience.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, here it comes, y'all. Here it comes. What is it?
Stay positive.
Stay positive.
There's no such thing as stay in your lane because the whole world is ours.
Bet. I gotta go. There is no such thing as staying in your lane. You know why? Because you know who created the lanes, and the lanes ain't for you. You need to bust your lane out. You need to blow your lane up, and that's what we're talking about. Get your kids, get your young adults in the lane and let them understand they're all their lane. It's just a matter of which one they want to drive in today. And we want to make sure that they're driving in the right direction so that they can benefit from everything you didn't. And then check this out. When I went to St. Lucia, my son went also, and he paid his own way. He sees the value of travel. He sees the value of being in a position to pay the way. And trust and believe, it wasn't easy. He had the money, but he didn't want to spend it. And I didn't talk him into it, but his aunt probably is the one that talked him into it because it was her 60th birthday. But here's the truth of the matter. When you teach and they understand, you wanted that decision to be a difficult decision. You didn't want him to spend whatever he spent, $1,700, $1,800, to go on vacation if he didn't have it. You wanted him to go through his financial flow and understand what this was going to do. And fortunately, he had a travel fund that he'd already been preparing, not this trip, but any potential trip, and he had most of the money in that account. And when he found out about the trip a year in advance, he started putting more money towards that trip. So what that means is that he strategized, he planned, he listened, he implemented, and the results were he had an amazing trip. But let's talk about the real results. The real results was he came home, he still had lights, he still had gas, he had transportation, he had a roof over his head, he did not have any credit card debt. So he didn't come home with a debt. He didn't come home with an expense or a liability. He paid for it. Did he use his credit card to get points? Yes. Did he pay it off before the payment was due? Yes. That's the key. That's the strategy. That's what I need you to know. That's what I need you to understand. And that's what I need you to live. It's not that complicated. You can do it.
Most people think their money problems are about income. They're wrong. Every day people work hard, earn well yet trapped by fear, by habits, by self-sabotage. Introducing Derek Gant, financial advisor, stroke survivor, and author of the 24K Life Code. And Derek didn't survive what he survived by accident. His life wasn't spared so he could sell tips. He was commissioned to help people break free from confusion, free from shame, free from systems that keep them busy but never whole. That's why he created the 24K Life Code, a personal and financial operating system that aligns your mind, money, body, and soul. So wealth stops owning you and starts serving you. This isn't hustle culture. This isn't prosperity hype. This is order, discipline, stewardship. If you know you were made for more, but something keeps pulling you back, it's time to break the cycle. Answer the call. Live your 24K life. 24klife.org.
Hey, you know what? It's been an honor to be here with you today. That's our show. You know, there's no mountain high enough that we haven't already overcome. There's no valley low enough that we haven't walked through. We're going to end the show with that song, but I want you to know it's all possible. Hit us up if there's anything else that we can do to make your life 24K. I'm Derek Gant. Be your best. Bring the best. Leave nothing to chance.